Ladies and gentlemen, Lijiang Tower is going to be our first map here. Control Center as well, so probably going to see some Reinhardts coming out here. Gob, he's certainly got his locked in already. Yeah, so Monopoly Club versus Thinking. Obviously the Thinking lineup is a little bit newer. The Monopoly Club guys have been around and grinding for a while now. They were a team with a lot of promise, a lot of young players, 4 players under 18, Xenox.
Yeah, and they've been together for a while, though, as you mentioned, so it's very good stability from them, and that's going to help them improve, as both teams are going to be coming towards the checkpoint now. Nomi electing to go for the Tracer. We're going to see Micro on that Genji. We know how good he's on that already, coming into the server room. Elias pushing up quite heavily, but pretty good, formidable formation coming out from Monopoly Club, and it allows them to pick off the first kill.
Yeah, this Reinhardt giving them a lot of space to work with here, Monopoly Club. They're playing behind that shield beautifully. Look at the discipline, just not getting anywhere out of position.
And God's starting to move up a little bit now, but he is going to be able to kept alive, and that's going to take down Elias, who was pushed up, trying to be aggressive on that Winston. Semi sort of dive composition coming out from Thinking, but really no follow-up on the Winston.
Yeah, and this is something we actually talked a little bit about pre-broadcast. We're now in this post-Lucio buff/nerf patch, probably a buff in this case, especially when you're playing with a 3-tank composition. You just saw how bunched up they were there. Anna chucks a biotic grenade down on your team, Lucio amps the heal, and you have so much healing on your team.
Pulse Bomb comes out onto Gold, but it will get trapped by the shield. No damage coming out from that, and again, Elias being aggressive, goes to that backline, but he gets taken out immediately. Adam doing so much work on the Zarya. He's got about 80 energy at the moment, make that 100.
Yeah, look at these guys. They're just sticking together so well there. They can't find a spot. Thinking they just cannot find anyone who's alone, who's not near the heals, and they just don't have the damage to punch through that. The dive needs... They've switched off to a Zen, and I think that it could help them a little bit here, that Discord orb, because they just need to work on taking targets down and focus calling them a lot more effectively.
And you saw graphics there getting that kill on Nomi. He's does quite a bit of damage now, the old Lucio.
Yeah, I mean, how much was it? Did he get buffed? Like 10 of projectile or something?
Yeah. Earthshatter comes out from Gob. There was another aggressive play from Elias, but no real follow-up from that. And it's going to be clean-up time again for Monopoly Club, who are looking very much in control. Elias the last one to go down, although Ozrano getting staggered a little bit there, Gino.
This is definitely not the position that Thinking want to be in. Even staggering the Diva with the sleep dart there, that is just brutal. They're going to have to come through this tiny little choke point here, and when Adam has his Graviton Surge saved up, that's not going to be a fun time for any of them.
And we're going to see the sound barrier come out from Sanford, but immediately followed up by the Graviton Surge of Adam. Tranquility popped by Gino to just keep the members of Thinking alive, but at 86%, it's getting critical time for Thinking. They're going to have to get onto the point. Self-destruct comes out, blocked by Gob's shield, and now it's time for Micro to get into the action.
Yeah, there we go. Finally a kill from the Wave Thinking. They've taken down Adam, who's been that thorn in their side for so long with the Pulse Bomb, and they're finally getting something done here. Gob just charging around, but it's down into overtime now, and they've got a long way to come back from Xenox. 99-0 as they finally capture the point.
You know, they threw a lot of ultimates into that Thinking, Geno, but Monopoly Club threw a lot back in return as well and got nothing from that. So they weren't even able to sort of stop Thinking's progression there with getting the point, but then still maybe having some ults back. Monopoly Club have got no ultimates at the moment.
Yep, they don't, and they're just going to have to watch out for this sort of counter dive. You know, Elias, he's just waiting around the corner here, waiting to jump in as soon as they push in.
So God pushing up now, but again Elias is getting that shield up and being a bit of a pest in the front of Gob. He is trying to get some damage into that backline, gets hooked by Psy, and he is actually unable to get any healing as well right now. As Psycho also went into that backline to just put some pressure on. Gino pops the Tranquility. As finally it is going to be Graphics who got his ultimate first and used that sound barrier. Psycho now with the Dragon Blade, just getting as much damage onto Kuro as he can. Very good target kill from Psycho.
Yeah, so they used the sound barrier there from Graphics. Unfortunately, it didn't really get the job done. Psycho did use his Dragon Blade as well. Maybe they were hoping to bait out some ultimates than that, though. For one sound barrier, you'd probably hope to get a bit more. It wasn't a very favourable ultimate trade for them there, and they're up to 60% now. So unless Gob gets something big with this Earth Shadow, which he should be able to, considering they've only got Elias's barrier projector to worry about.
We got the reverse sweep here. 0 to 100 could be on the cards for Thinking. They're in very much control right now. A couple of ultimates up their sleeve. Elias is just playing that position so well. He did get hooked before by Sign, so he's got to be a little bit careful about that. But the positioning from Thinking is so spread out, makes it hard for Gob. He still lands a double Earth Shadow with the double charge kill onto both supports of Thinking. And it's a perfect initiation from Gob. Allows Monopoly Club now to push forward on towards the point. But we got a Lucio who's boosted Genome, and maybe with the new changes, that's not as worse as it was before.
Well, he does get the new Boostio line. I love that they added a little voice line there to help that out. But here we go, Thinking just trickling in, trying to make something here happen at the end here, but I don't think it's gonna do anything, especially with the Graviton Surge there.
No, and you got to give a lot of credit to God for that initiation, Genome. The way he was able to pick off the two supports with the Earth Shatter and then charge into them, get those kills when Thinking were very separated. They were very spread out, and it makes things a bit hard to get those Earth Shatter off sometimes.
Well, it's interesting that they actually chose not to go with a Reinhardt for this point, Thinking. They've gone with the Winston. And now, if you guys can cast your mind way back, there was a time when you pretty much never picked Reinhardt on control maps. Everyone just thought the Winston was a better choice, and it was Control Center on Lijiang as one of the very first places where people started to see the value of Reinhardt, and so it's very surprising to me that they wouldn't go with the Reinhardt there, because he's a very good pick, and you can see when you don't have a Reinhardt to contest that, the Earth Shatter almost gives you an entire free team fight.
In saying that, though, I felt that when Thinking were defending, I thought Elias played the Winston defensive role very well. Kept Monopoly Club at bay for quite a time. It did struggle a little bit on attack though, so maybe some change of thought there, but Winston probably does a little bit better here in Garden.
Yeah, he did, he got caught off by lots of sleep darts and hooks from the Hog as well, so they were counterplaying him pretty hard there.
I'm going to go with the Pharmacy lineup for Thinking right now. Signed is going to be moving over from the Roadhog over to the Soldier now for Monopoly Club, so a little bit more damage coming out from them. Elias, not sure if he intended to make the full jump, but nonetheless he comes back down and then goes straight back up looking for the Soldier of Sign. He gets a little bit of trouble, taking a lot of damage. Psycho and Elias both low. They're going to get some heals from Gino, and it's a bit of a stalemate right now. The point unlocks.
Yeah, they pushed them back quite far with that Pharmacy combo, split them up a little bit. Kura and Sign were on their own, and that's how they won the fight last time, Monopoly Club, just by being all grouped up together, and now there's just a couple of them left on the fight. Nice little boot there by Sanford, and a Tactical Visor, so quick, Sign got that up.
Yeah, Sign was able to get that up. He got a lot of damage onto Elias and Psycho earlier on when they were getting pushed back a bit. So, well played to Sign there, got that ultimate up, the Tactical Visor, and it's going to get the point over to Monopoly Club.
Yeah, and those early ultimates there, often a way you can really just turn that fight around quickly, because often people aren't expecting it, right? It's the first fight still, they're not expecting you to have the Dragon Blade, the Tactical Visor up, yeah, and often you can find them in positions where you can just take them out really quickly with like that.
Coming in pretty aggressive there was Psycho with the thrust. He's taking a lot of damage too, does get pocketed by Gino for a short amount of time as he uses that defense matrix into the face of Micro. And then again, Psycho really not getting much out of that Diva right now. And he's actually going to finally get taken down by Gob. 30% and counting for Monopoly Club, holding firm right now.
Yep, pushing them all the way back here. But we do have a res on the side of Gino. Let's see if he can find a cozy little spot to hide in before he swoops in to use that. We've also got the Barrage and the Pulse Bomb coming up from Oz Rhino. So you can shove that onto Gob. They might be able to get in here.
A couple of ultimates up for Monopoly Club, but it's going to be the Earth Shatter with the Rocket Barrage coming out. Pulse Bomb's not going to be able to land from Oz Rhino, so to no avail there. Psycho again going down, just not really able to survive on that Diva. Elias, the last member, is thinking to get taken down. 60%, and just not sure whether or not this Diva is having much of an impact, Gino.
Yeah, I mean, well, the fantastic sound barrier there from Graphics in that last fight. He kept everyone alive with that. The Rocket Barrage not really doing a lot, and also not managing to get that Resurrection off. And now we've seen Gino swapping off with the Res up. They really don't think it's going to work.
So Elias just going to pop that Primal Rage, trying to take out Signed, and he's almost got him. He's got him pinned to the back wall, finally gets the kill. Psycho was able to take down Gob as well, pre-fight it. 88%, it's going to be Thinking needing to get onto that point though and cap it into their favour. Self-destruct comes out. And it's not going to be able to land anyone this time around, but the point should go their way, Gino.
Yeah, Thinking you've got this. Two ultimates committed there. The Nano Blade only gets one kill onto a relatively easy to take down Gino on the Zenyatta there. He's, unfortunately has no tools to run away from that dragon, the Genji shoving a blade in his face. So now they've got to try and recontest. They've got a Graviton Surge to do that with, and Psycho and Elias, look at them. They're up here just waiting for them to come into this choke.
And one thing Monopoly Club do very well is using Gob's shield. They definitely don't spread out too much. If they got that shield up, they utilize it to full effect. The last into the back line, but it's going to be the Graviton Surge coming out from Adam again. Gets the follow-up Biotic Grenade from Kura, and that's going to be Monopoly Club cleaning up efficiently. They use their ultimates very much in sync, Genome, and they capitalize because of it.
Yeah, they did well, but they didn't take the fight on the point, and they're sacrificing quite a bit of percentage to do it. In fact, Elias managing to come back in here and take out Gob. He's getting kept alive by Geno's Transcendence. And there we go, Micro goes down on the point. It looks like they're actually going to hold on to this.
Yeah, and Elias getting that Primal Rage is going to increase their stall even further. Regardless, Sign does get that Tactical Visor up, was able... Oh, well, actually, it was Nomi, my bad. So he takes down Graphics and Adam. And you're right, Gino, because that fight was not on the point originally, that meant that it never got back in control of Monopoly Club, always got ticking forward and forward for thinking, and now they're at 65%.
Yeah, and here we go. They're just waiting for them again. Elias and Psycho once again using this tactic, but Micro knows them there, so he's just checking that, letting his team know. They've got a little bit of time. 75% means they've got one good fight left in them, and they've got to use this Earth Shatter and the Nano Blade to full effect.
Yeah, pretty big ult advantage right now for Monopoly Club. They might be sensing that by moving straight towards the point, forcing the fight. They take down Alliance straight away because of it. And as they look to try and get this back into control, it's going to be Sanford popping that sound barrier just to be able to keep Thinking alive a little bit longer, 91%. Problem is they're not getting too many kills. And Micro now with that Dragon Blade gets straight and 2 kills immediately. And it's going to be Monopoly Club regaining it, Gino, and most likely taking out the second round.
Yeah, Thinking they just weren't expecting Monopoly Club to come around the back there. Most of them were holding in the middle, in the courtyard, and they thought they had time to make something happen there, but no, they go around the back, they get caught off guard. Too many of them go down before they even communicate to each other that that's happening, and they can get back onto the point to contest, and that's another point going the way of Monopoly Club. A really good start from them here on Lijiang Tower.
I think that's a very good representation of a team knowing the ultimate statuses for both teams, themselves as well as the opponents, and knowing that they had the advantage, they can force the fight, they want to then force it on the point so they can then tick it over and get into their favour, and they just played it very well. Very smart play from Monopoly Club, and as you mentioned, it caught Thinking off guard, maybe not expecting them to go straight to the point, but Thinking have got to be, well, thinking a little bit better there, Gino.
Yeah, they certainly should have communicated that a little faster and moved in there, but alas, and I think as you pointed out, the Diva, I'm not so sure about that pick there. It works well against Signed, yes, and it can working well in combination with the Winston, but it wasn't playing it to the full effect. That was Rhino.
Thinking going for a more standard dive composition, the Pharmacy with the Tracer, the Winston, and none of it's working right now because Monopoly Club is still in full effect. They've got all the momentum right now, and they're going to take this pre-point fight pretty comfortably for the most part. A bit of a late kill there on Takura by Oz Rhino, but the point will be going the way of Monopoly Club, and they've looked in control for most parts, Genome, but at times there has been points where Thinking have got back into it.
Yeah, well, the composition they're running, it does seem to be very good at coming in and getting the point back from them, but when they have to sit back and defend, they're not so effective at that.
So, 11% and counting upwards for Monopoly Club. They're just going to take this last round out, and there'll be one map up in this best-of-3 series. Adam able to take down the Diva Mech of Oz Rhino. And it's still aggressive play from Monopoly Club. Just finish off the rest of Thinking, knowing that they already have the advantage. They push forward. They're going to try and get Nomi as well, who will get staggered a little bit too.
Oh no, God's managing to take him down and gets out hassle-free, still on full health. Look how many ultimates they've got up here. This is looking like it could be another comfortable points here for Monopoly Club. Micro just dominating the skies here.
And this is what Monopoly Club can do well, though. They have these ultimates, but they don't use them all at once. They're very smart, as we're going to see Psycho having to recall there, as he would have got booped off. Adam went in as well, but he had to recall it pretty quickly too. Not sure what happened there. Pulse Bomb comes out from Psycho, not able to land on it to anybody. The Primal Rage had come out from Gob too, but there's going to be Elias, who's causing a lot of mayhem too. Both monkeys going with the Primal Rage earlier on in that fight to kick things off. And starting to move the fight over towards the point now was actually Oz Rhino, but he loses that mech straight away.
Yeah, it was Sign that they were counting on there. He had the tactical visor up. Kura had the nano boost as well. That was their ticket to winning that fight, but they used the Primal Rage Monkey to take Signed out, and that means Monopoly Club just were on the back foot from there on. They get up to 70%, but now they've finally managed to take over the fight. What Thinking need to do here is stop being so passive. They've got a very aggressive lineup here. They need to push in as soon as they see the slightest opportunity and not wait for Monopoly Club to take the fight to them.
Well, as you say, that Monopoly Club are going to be taking the fight towards Thinking. Sound barrier does come out from Graphics as well. That means Gino's going to have to pop that Tranquility just to keep any last members of Thinking alive. The Assault Destruct comes out from Ozrano, but it's not well placed and easily blocked. It's not that really efficient on this sort of map with a big pillar in the middle. And Monopoly Club will take this point back in their favour. They use their ultimates well, and I think the biggest thing, Gino, is they saved a lot of their ultimates from the last fight where they knew they weren't going to win it.
Yeah, they've managed their economy very well, and they'll be rewarded by capping the point back. It's going to be so hard for them. They've got one last fight here to really make this happen, but they're just letting themselves be aggressed on way too much. Thinking they're just being too passive when they're on the defense here, and letting Monopoly Club always fire the first shot.
Well, Thinking really don't have a lot of time to waste right now. They're going to get straight in there. Elias pops that Primal Rage. He hasn't really got a lot of help though. Psycho with the double kill. Pulse Bomb is going to be landing onto Graphics and Micro, taking them down. While Elias was in the background trying to take out Kura and Sign. He finally gets that job done. He did his part, so did Psycho. The rest of Thinking need to help out their two teammates.
Yeah, that's the second time that Elias has just gone ham and gone straight after Sign and only worried about him. And look, to his credit, that's the only two times they've won fights. So maybe his team needs to peel a bit more for Signs. Either way, they've managed to cap the point back here. Let's see if Ozrino, he needs to really fly in the face of Micro here. Either that or dive Signed with Elias.
Well, Monopoly Club don't have as many ultimates to deal with this time around as they try to come back and take the point. They do have Sign's Tactical Visor though. Adam actually gets taken down thanks to a bit of help from Nomi, who popped his own Tactical Visor in that fight. That's going to keep the point in control for Thinking, meaning Monopoly Club are just going to back off a little bit and come back in for one last push.
Yeah, so nice heals there from Kura, making sure Micro doesn't get staggered, and they do have time for one last fight here. They're going to go in with a Nano Boosted Tactical Visor, and if Adam can get a nice sneaky Pulse Bomb off onto someone, they might be able to take this point back here. There we go.
Monopoly,
Opens it up.
Monopoly get the Pulse Bomb kill onto Gino. He's not going to be able to get any sort of Tranquility off in this fight. It is going to get to 99% for both teams. And it's going to be, again, Elias trying to do as much as he can, but the Micro with the Rocket Barrage is going to be able to take him out. A couple of rockets to the face. Nomi, last man standing. He can't actually get any heals right now. Graphics with the sound barrier. And again, job done from Monopoly Club. And one thing I want to point out there, Jenna, was the way that they engaged on that fight. They really split it up. 3 went over the bridge side and 3 went the left side. And they came in from the left side bridge. So really splitting up and sort of collapsing on the point.
Yeah, I think it sort of it distracted Thinking a bit, and they probably weren't as much expecting Adam to come in from the backside. That's how he snuck in and got that Pulse Bomb thing to the Pulse Bomb kill to open things up. And you know, as we just see them stagger in here and get finished off, that's a nice tidy 3-0 there. Monopoly Club really showing their stuff.
You know, sometimes 3-0s don't really reflect, and I don't think this one really reflects the nature of this series, Genome, in this in Lijiang Tower, because Thinking definitely had their chances. They were definitely competitive, and for the most part, I think they always got to at least 90%. So 3-0 is a very tough pill to swallow for Thinking, but they're going to be at least a little bit happy that, you know, we're in those games. They just got to work on some little things.
Yeah, there was some good moments for them. As I said, there just whenever they managed to get onto side, that seemed to let them get through and win the team fight. But apart from that, they just they really struggled, didn't they? There were so many times when they held the point that Monopoly Club would come through. They'd always be the first ones to pop the ults Monopoly Club, and as a result, they just get that first kill, and they were on the back foot. They really couldn't do anything from there. So it'll be a little bit different if we've got... what other maps do we have? It's Route 66 and King's Row. Okay, so we're onto the payloads now. This is going to play out a little bit differently. So Thinking of lost that. It's loser pick after the first map in the AOC Cybergamer Overwatch circuit, so Thinking will be getting to pick the next map.
Yeah, Thinking will get to pick the next map again, and then I do believe, because Thinking picked the map, that Monopoly Club get to choose who defends and attacks first.
Yep, that's the way we're doing it here. So we'll just, it looks like they're going for King's Row for the second map. Okay.
Kings Row, yeah. It's the vanilla of Overwatch, Genome.
We have seen it a bit less lately. I think teams have got a little more adventurous. They've been a little more confident on the rest of the map pool as the game matures, as they get more experience on those other maps that they might not have had before. And I think most maps are sort of getting figured out to a more extent, maybe the extent that Kings Row was early on.
Yeah, and so Monopoly Club will be choosing to attack Kings Row first, and so getting into this sort of new era where teams are now sort of choosing maps, and then the team that didn't choose the map picks the attacking and defending side. What are some of the thoughts behind, say, on Kings Row that Monopoly Club want to attack first rather than defend first? Is it a mental advantage of being able to attack first? And I know I've seen a lot of discussion, especially on like competitive Overwatch, about these sorts of tactics, defending first, attacking first. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, if you are using the competitive rule set, which means that at the moment, the percentage, I just want to confirm this. We are using the settings where it's purely by percentage, right? So if they cap 13% of the point, you've just got to beat that to win. I'm pretty sure we're on that rule set. Yes,
I believe so.
Okay, so if you are on that rule set, I think you get a big advantage by attacking last, because you can have a very different mindset if you're coming into it and knowing you have to cap 15% of a point, to when you're going first and you don't know what's going to happen next, and so your goal is always going to be to fully cap the point, right? And you can do any number of cheesy strategies just to try and push people off the point. You can play Diva Ult and Graviton Surge, things that displace people, Blizzard, ultimates that purely work to get people off the point if you know that you only have a small amount of point capture to get. Obviously this is more so for 2CP, but if we do go into the second round of a payload map, it does become a consideration then.
I think Eichenwald's got one of the best examples where, generally teams might hold that, archway sort of area as they're defending. If they're defending first, they're able to defend that archway. But if they're having to, if they're defending second, knowing that the other team only needs, say, 5% or something, they have to actually change their strategy to maybe just sitting on the point, and that is a disadvantage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, sometimes you do see a team deciding to hold further back in either the left or the right lane in Eichenwald anyway, but it certainly takes that choice away from them, right? They definitely no longer have the option of purely holding the choke and then rotating back when someone, if someone like a Tracer or a Genji or whatever decides to contest the point. Yeah, as you say, you just got to be straight on there. You don't even have that time to rotate backwards. So I think attacking last is often the better choice. So what have we got here? Thinking have picked the map, and Thinking are defending first. Yeah, okay. So they seem to be sort of sticking by that strategy, perhaps.
Yes, as we see the two little percentages in the top scoreboard now at the new edition. It's very controversial, as we've been talking about, but maybe we might get to see some of that in action. Who knows? Kings Row, probably not as much.
Not unless we see some full holding happening here. Look, the other big change we've had, of course, recently in terms of how it affects team play is... of course. Monopoly picked attack, not Thinking picked defense, because Thinking picked the map. The other big change, of course, we have had is this Lucio change, increasing his healing. His self-healing actually got tuned down a little bit, but his amp healing overall increased. So when you combine that with the Ana Grenade, it can be massive. Now they are looking for that sort of 3-tank lineup on defense, hoping to utilize that if they stay balled up, with Nomi up the back there on the Soldier.
So it's the second map of this best of 3 series between Monopoly Club and Thinking. Monopoly Club took Lijiang Tower 3-0. They're up 1-0. Just have to take out Kings Row now. Gob getting straight into that back line, looking for Elias Sanford and Gino. He's getting some help now from Sign 2. And with Curious Discord, it was able to take down Elias pretty quickly. Follow-up is perfect for Monopoly Club right now. They've got to deal with Oz Rhino, though, and Nomi, but they're in a pretty poor position, Thinking.
Yeah, Psycho just found himself completely alone. He was back at the statue while the rest of his team had moved all the way back almost to the arch, and he was surrounded by 4 or 5 of the Monopoly Club players at one point. They just completely cut him off. He tried to charge to get out, but it was far too late by then, and that's just going to be an easy first point cap there for the Monopoly Club. Psycho on Reinhardt, I'm actually kind of interested to see that. I thought that last time I saw Oz Rhino, he was a Ryan player, and Psycho, you know, as we saw in the previous map, he's a very good Genji player, so I'm sort of surprised to see that he's picked up the Ryan. He's going down the path of Trill, perhaps.
Well, maybe just wanting to try and, I guess, move things around a little bit. Psycho played Diva, Oz Rhino played Diva the last round, so I guess they can maybe both play both heroes, and they're just whatever feels comfortable right at that second. Psycho, though, that charge was straight into the payload. He's going to be able to get healed up, though. As the Pulse Bomb comes on Tsunami from Cyan in that backline, it's going to be able to provide a bit more of an advantage with the Monopoly Club, who have got the shorter spawn length as well. 5 minutes on the time bank right now. It's a good start from Monopoly Club, but they will get held a little bit here at the archway.
Yeah, they don't want to force the issue, and this could be a little bit of a problem, but no, it looks like they don't want to hold that really strong archway position. They want to wait for their McCree player, Nomi, so they're going to push all the way back and give them a lot of room on the street space. Interesting decision there by thinking.
They've got to re-engage though here at the bookstore. Mischarge from Psycho, who did get nano boosted so far, extremely wasted. He's got nothing out of it. Pops the Earth Shadow though. He lands it onto 4 members of Monopoly Club. It was also, it's like a 180 no-scope Earth Shadow the way he did that one, Gino.
So maybe he's taking after Trill more than we know if he's going for the 180 Earth Shatters. But nice work there, and they worked out for them, didn't they? They pulled back to wait for Nomi, and as they came in, they used that the nano boost onto Psycho, make sure he's got his Earth Shatter up and everything like that, and then he just absolutely pounds Monopoly Club with it, and now they can move up and make use of this archway choke point.
Yeah, they're going to utilize it with the self-destruct along with that Graviton Surge. Only 1 kill from that self-destruct onto Adam. The rest of Monopoly Club were able to sort of get back and get out of the way, but still 2 ultimates used, but they get the fight to go in their favor, and they bring that time bank down a little bit, Gino.
It was very cool execution though, right? They chucked the Graviton Surge in there, they had the Diva ult, and then Psycho goes for the pin onto Gob at exactly the right time to open that up. Unfortunately, not as many people sucked into the Graviton Surge, and he did get 1 kill onto Gob, which probably would have got cleaned up by the Diva ultimate as well.
They're still using that Graviton Surge and only getting 2 kills out of it on what is a very short walk back for Monopoly Club can feel a little bit dissatisfying for thinking, and they could get paid for it here now. Micro gets the nano boost, pops the Dragon Blade as well straight away into the backline. That's what Genjis do, Gino. They get their combo, they get the backline, and then if they're still alive and they can just clean up everyone else, Micro, nicely done. He is a little monster, that guy.
Oh, he surely is. Was that 5 or 6 kills there? That was incredible. Just going absolutely ham with the Dragon Blade there. Oh, as soon as he got onto that last target, it was just swift strike, going from one to another. Beautiful there, but they're still going to get back here in time to contest the 3rd point, and they do have an Earth Shatter of their own. Can he beat out Gob?
180 Earth Shatter from Psycho. He's going to need to do that again, although nice Adam is waiting up on top. Oz Rhino spots him and actually knocks him off. Nicely done by Oz Rhino. Gets hooked immediately, though, by Cyan. It's going to be Adam coming out with that Graviton Surge. Psycho able to kick that shield up, though, and keeps most of them alive. Pops the Earth Shatter, but immediately followed up by Gob. Earth Shatter from both. Reinhardt's coming out, and Graphics pops the sound barrier, and that's going to be able to push on through for the Monopoly Club. Going back a little bit, though, to Micro Gino. Utilizing just 2 ultimates, and he cleaned up 5 members. That is called efficiency, not using Graviton Surge with the self-destruct and only getting 2 members.
That is absolute value. Monopoly Club just rolling into the 3rd point here. I love how Gob played that at the end there. He obviously knew that Psycho had the Earth Shatter as well, and was just baiting him, dropping the shield, and then he sidesteps so that Psycho sees all these members to go for, but then that just allows Gob to get his own massive Earth Shatter in.
3 minutes and 7 seconds for Monopoly Club. Thinking have done a decent job of bringing that time bank down a little bit, but it is still looking like Monopoly Club are the aggressors right now. Oh, Gob got to about 10 health or so, finally gets taken down. He was getting healed up by Kura though. So finally a chance now for Thinking to get back in control of this payload, keep it locked in place. They did lose Psycho though. Adam still being aggressive on that Zaya. Somehow it's still looking like Monopoly Club are just staying alive, finally getting taken down to kill onto Adam, and Thinking back in control for a short amount of time.
Yeah, Thinking was slowly whittling them down there. I think they just wanted to stay in there because Adam was on such high charge that there was a chance perhaps he could land a couple of nice explosive charges and just laser some people down. But no, they recognize he's just too much, too dangerous at that point and focusing down pretty quickly. That said, he did manage to charge up his Graviton Surge here, so they've got the blender coming in here.
2 minutes and 10 seconds. Both Graviton Surges come out. Better connected though was Thinking's, but no follow-up. Gob's shield was in the way, and then of course the Graviton Surge from Adam kept the rest of Thinking locked in place. So both kind of cancelling each other out a little bit, but Nomi was able to get that kill with the Deadeye. Gob with a very interesting charge looking for Ozrano. Psycho trying to follow up from behind, but Gob will be able to get away from that. Down to just under 2 minutes. Thinking would be pretty happy with his time bank now considering the start of this game.
Yeah, the key part of that combo is getting the Hog really close up there, and you can't do that if he's stuck in the Graviton Surge, and then that, the Sound Barrier might have been a bit of an overkill, especially considering Micro, he's got a Nano Blade now. Yeah,
Micro into the back line again, takes down Nomia and Elias, two key members of Thinking. The Earthshatter comes out from Gob too, lands it onto Oz Rhino, and it's cleanup time for Monopoly Club. There was a Nano Boost onto Psycho, but he wasn't able to achieve much from that. I do believe he actually used a Earthshatter surely from that too.
I'm not sure. He's only on 34% right now, but he's switched off to Winston as they are just trying to come back in here and contest this payload as it pushes so close to the end.
Now they've got to focus their targets right now, Thinking. Kura's in a really bad position and they take him down. That's a job well done from them. But Gob taking down Gino. Both supports for Thinking at the moment are dead. Elias gets taken down by a Swiss strike of Micro, who has just been an absolute menace on the Genji here on King's Road. Graviton Surge comes out and it's going to finish off the rest of the members of Thinking. The hook onto Sanford. That was amazing by Sign. Threw him off the edge, quite literally.
Someone please clip that to Blizzard and then put it next to the post where they were like, you cannot hook people off the edge by turning.
Graviton Surge onto Sign. This one not just over quite yet. Sign able to just heal up in time. Got a bit of help from Gon too with the shield. Micro, Dragon Blade. The Pulse Bomb's not going to be able to land from Nomi, and that's going to be 26-second time bank for Monopoly Club. Geno, it was a great start. They took the first point on the first push, and then things were quite even for the rest of the way for the payload.
Yeah, I just can't help but think if they had have held on to that sound barrier there, I mean, I don't think they needed it to keep them alive. Maybe it helped out a little bit in that fight. I think they probably still would have won though. They had the Graviton Surge to keep the Hog at bay. He was obviously just feeling very vulnerable being in the Graviton Surge of Adams there, but if they had have had it for that next fight, when Micro went for the Dragon Blade, it really could have changed them, and they only needed to win one more fight, and they would have stopped Monopoly Club from full capping there. So 26-second time bank. Now they have to get it all the way to the end. You know, maybe the percentage will come into play if they manage to do that, Xenox.
And it's going to be a good test though for, I guess, Monopoly Club to see whether or not they can defend this first point for longer than the first push. And if they can do that, then it's already a success in my eyes for them. And if they get that first push, though, Thinking in their favour, and then they can take that momentum throughout the street space, they could end up with a decent time bank and really try and bring this game back where it looked like, you know, it was not going to go their way at all. 26 seconds on the time bank. If they can get a good attack to go their way, get a good start. They got Nomi on the Widowmaker as well, who can get picks, and it can be very vital for first point King's Row. If that Widowmaker can land 1 or 2 picks, it's just about going to seal it up. So Monopoly Club need to bring their A game here on defense. It's not just going to happen. They've got to make it happen.
No, they're going with a very tanky lineup to do that, though, Xenox, and they've got Micro again. This is very similar to, if not exactly the same, to what Thinking did on their defense here. 3 tanks. They've got the Soldier 76 up the top, but he's probably going to have to deal with either Nomi taking potshots at him or Psycho trying to get up there and deal with him. So Elias, he's on the main tank position now, using that Winston just like we saw him on Lijiang Tower, and Psycho back onto that Genji.
So it's going to be a chance now for Thinking. Let's see if Nomi can get any headshots. It's going to be hard though. He's got to get him over the head of Gob. Then he's got to get past Adam's defense matrix. Then he kind of doesn't really want to land it onto Sign. So very good composition coming out from Monopoly Club. They're back into the corner now and they can do that. They've got the 3 tanks. As we're going to be finally seeing Elias jump in now, trying to see if he can take anyone down. He gets taken down immediately by Sign. And you've got to feel Monopoly Club were kind of expecting that sort of play, and they were playing around it to happen. Ooh. And Thinking just sort of played right into those hands of Nomi. got the headshot onto Micro, but it's unfortunately not much else, as it was Monopoly Club who were pushing forward and then finally picking up some other kills.
Nomi was doing a great job there, got a nice little headshot onto the Soldier 76, but then Sign just decides to walk all the way around the back and get a nice hook on him. He definitely wasn't expecting that, and he puts an end to that first attack. Now, they haven't quite got the Dragon Blade yet, but they're not too far from that. So if Psycho can just stare back here and chuck a couple of shurikens, he will be able to push in with that very soon.
2 minutes and 48 seconds for thinking. They're going to have to think their way into this situation and make it happen. Psycho dashed up, but he wasn't able to really, I think, maybe assess that situation correctly. He realized that there's not a whole lot he can do if he just dashes in there. Great positioning from Monopoly coming out. We're going to see graphics with the sound barrier too to just pretty much keep everyone topped up nice and tidily. And Monopoly Club are just playing this to perfection right now. Everyone's in sync. Psycho did pop that Dragon Blade though to pick up the kill onto Kura, but is that worth it 1 for 1? I don't think so.
No, he definitely misjudged that situation. His Widow was under heavy duress there, getting taken down by Micro. The rest of his team just really not in a great situation to keep him alive or heal him during that. And now, Psycho switched over to Sombra. They're hoping to charge up an EMP here quickly and get them out of, just EMP everybody to try and get through this first point, because the Genji, they didn't think it's working for them.
Well, it could possibly work due to the way Monopoly Club are positioning themselves, very clamped up into that back corner. Definitely. It could be a great chance for the MP. Elias is going to pop that Primal Rage, though. Problem is, there's only 1 minute and 45 seconds left for thinking to make this happen. Self-destruct is going to come out now from Adam. Is it going to be able to connect? Yes, it does. That's 2 kills for Adam with the self-destruct. The Monopoly Club are going to be able to hold on a little bit longer here. 1 minute 30 seconds left for thinking.
I think Gino's going to be feeling pretty hard done by there. He was zapping around in his transcendent state, trying to make sure his teammates were healed up as they were getting out, and then just as the transcendence finished, the ult popped and managed to grab him. So EMP only up to 57%. You need to get it up quicker than that. I feel like they're not using, his teammates aren't using those health packs enough, because that's the way you get that EMP charge quickly, not by doing damage.
The other thing is there enough follow-up with that EMP? We're going to see Micro again with the Dragon Blade and the Nano Boost combination. He takes out Sanford after a little bit of troubles, winging the sword around. Only able to pick up one this time around. Monopoly Club, though, will be able to take out that fight once again. Psycho has got the EMP available, but as I mentioned, Gino, is there enough follow-up? Nomi just used his Pulse Bomb too. He hasn't got that. There's no other ultimates to follow up on Psycho. 38 seconds left. This is not quite going to be enough, I don't think.
Well, I guess the Diva ult is what they're hoping for here. It's going to disable the defense matrix. It's going to disable Gob Shield most importantly. So if they can combo that, they might have a chance.
That's the combination happens there. It's going to work for the first part. They take down Adam and Kura, but unfortunately Adam sent his own self-destruct backwards looking for Gino, takes him down. So no Discord's going to be available. They need to deal with Micro, though he's doing so much work, and he's able to take down Sanford. We saw Gob's Earth Shatter as well. Only 8 seconds left. The Monopoly Club are just flawless right now. This young team is proving that they are going to be a force to be reckoned with. They're going to take down Thinking emphatically. 2-0 in the first best-of-3 series for the AOC Overwatch circuit, presented by Cybergamer. Well done to Monopoly Club.
That was fantastically played by those guys. There was just a little bit too rushed there, that last attack by Thinking. They chucked the EMP out, but the rest of the team wasn't really in position. They did only have 10-15 seconds left to cap that point out, so I guess he felt a bit pressured to just chuck it out there.
Oh, here we go, Gino.
It's not enough. Micro he was a little terror, wasn't he? They say good things come in small packages, and that's Micro in a nutshell.
Now, this is the 5K. Let you soak all of that in and maybe learn some things from Micro. Great play from Monopoly Club. Big congratulations. They get their first win for the circuit. It's a big win over Thinking, who have been a very reasonable team so far in the past couple of weeks. For Thinking, it's back to the drawing board. They got outdone quite heavily there on Kings Row. Full held. It was a little bit more competitive on Lijiang Tower, even for a 3-0. But it is going to have to be back to the drawing board. We're going to bring Doctor back in for some talk about the matchup and then a little bit more about the league as well. Doctor, give us your